What's good with y'all, man? It's your boy J Benz a Light here, back again with another one for some enlightenment content. Raise your consciousness, expand your perspective, and all that, man. That's what I'm here for. Here to inspire y'all, motivate y'all, just to be better versions of yourselves, and for y'all to just learn something to take with y'all for the rest of y'all lives, man. But here we go. So what I'm going to be talking about today is the importance of Yin and Yang, and the secret, a small secret that not many people know about it, that applies to your life and applies to just about everything you do, and I believe could help you a lot in your everyday situations. Now let's get into it, man. So before I get into it, actually, this conversation or this topic was inspired by a conversation that I had earlier today with somebody. We got to a point we were talking about a person named David Goggins, right? Now, if you guys don't know who that is, David Goggins is a motivational speaker. He was a Navy SEAL. He has a book called Can't Hurt Me, which is a very good book. I recommend that all of you read it. And he's a guy. He's like the guy that like exemplifies, mental strength and mastering the mind and whatnot. And the thing about him is, so let me give y'all some examples. So I say he exemplifies mastering the mind because of the many things that he did and the many feats that he accomplished and still accomplishes. For example, like back when this guy was like, at one point he weighed like 260 pounds or something like that, and was like really big, really heavy, but ran like 100 miles in one day at an ultra marathon. I know some of y'all hearing that just like, damn, like what, like that's impossible, whatever, but for real, you can look it up right now. David Goggins running 100 miles, look up whatever, right? So, and there's many interviews of David Goggins talking about this. He talks about it in the book as well. And what David Goggins talks about is during his 100-mile run, around mile 70, his body had broken down. His body had broken down. He had stress fractures in his feet. I think he said like his liver started failing. He was peeing blood. He had shit himself, all that. Like he was damn near at the verge of death at around mile 70 of this run. But the thing is, it was a 100-mile run, right? The contest was 100 miles. And the thing is about David Goggins is he stopped at the 70 mile mark, and anybody in their right mind would just stop the race. Anybody in their right mind would go to the hospital, go home or whatever, and get treatment, get their body fixed up, because obviously if you peeing blood, something really bad is happening. You know what I mean? You shitting yourself, you peeing blood, then that's a pretty good sign that like you should probably stop, right? But the thing is about David Goggins is he thought differently in that situation. In that situation, he said in his mind, he said, yo, he said, I'm at mile 70, I have 30 miles to go. Nobody in their right mind would continue this race. Nobody in their right mind who's sane will continue this race. And he thought to himself, how would I feel if I would have just finished this race right here and right now, regardless? How would I feel? I would be the hardest motherfucker in the world. That's what he said. He was just like, yo, if I finish this race and I finish after going through this shit when 99% of people would stop and quit, and I finish, that would make me the hardest motherfucker in the world. So what David Goggins did is he took a little break around the 70-mile mark, and within, I believe, within less than an hour or like half an hour or something like that, I think, he had got back up and finished the race and ran the rest of the 30 miles. And now, I was having a conversation with somebody about this earlier today, and I was talking about how I hear that story and it inspires me and it motivates me, because I hear that story and the way I see it is, damn, like 99% of people 99.9% of people, if they were in that situation, they would quit. They would not finish that race. They would not run the rest of that race. Not most people wouldn't even run 70 miles in general. But this guy went and ran a 100-mile race and finished it, even though he was peeing blood and his body was damn near just done, finished. And yeah, like it inspires me, it motivates me like a lot, because I look at that, I'm just like, damn, that just means that we're capable of anything. Our bodies are capable of doing so much. You feel me? Like, as long as your spirit is strong enough, because that's what willpower comes from. It comes from the spirit. It comes from your spirit saying to the body, yo, we're going to fucking finish this thing no matter what. We're going to finish this. I don't care what you say. We're going to finish this. That's what the spirit is saying. So yeah, man, like that story just inspired me. But the person I was talking to thought differently about it. She thought about it in the same way that most people would think about it. She thought about it. She said that's just stupid. Like, why would you continue? Like, there's no point. Like, what are you getting from finishing the race? You're not getting anything. It's not like you're getting like a big prize. It's not like you're getting big money or nothing. Like, you're not getting anything. Like, why would you risk your life to finish this regardless, right? And that's what, and I was fighting her on it, because the way I thought about it from my perspective was, that's motivational, inspirational, because it shows how much our bodies can do. It shows what you can do, what you truly can do if you will your way through, and if your spirit is strong enough, you can do that shows you can do anything. That shows how much strength we really have, and shows how much we're leaving on the table, you know? But she thought just like how most people would think, you know? And it made me think, like this is a perfect example of yin and yang, you know? Like, she looked at the situation as she looked at it as just like, it's a terrible situation, and that's it. She just looked at it as yin and yang, and that's it. Without looking at it any deeper. She looked at it surface level. That's a terrible situation, and there's no point in doing that. You should stop, get medical treatment, whatever. But the way I thought about it was, with the way that I think in my paradigm, is I like to think deeply into things. I like to look at the core of things. I like to look at the things behind the scenes, you know? In every negative situation, I'm a very positive thinker. So in every negative situation, I look for any positive I can find from it. In any amount of suffering, I look for any amount of positive greatness that I can find from that situation. And I take that and I focus on that. That's just how I think. And that inspired me to talk about yin and yang, because that's a perfect example of a person who just looked at it as a one-sided type of thing, as like, oh, there's a terrible situation, so that means you should do this. But she wasn't looking at it as, damn, like, that's inspirational, that's motivational, like, you're doing this regardless, whatever. No, she was just looking at it as either A or B. But so I'm coming to y'all because of this. When it comes to yin and yang, you can't just, when it comes to yin and yang, when it comes to just life in general, you can't really just look at everything as just A or B. You can't look at everything as just like linear, you know? You can't look at everything as just like, as just apples and oranges, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta look at it as, when it comes, because a lot of life consists of hard times that we go through. Hard times, hard struggles, negative times, family members dying, we don't get that job we wanted, we get a fucking speeding ticket or whatever, or we get in a fight with our loved ones, we all these negative things, right? All these terrible things that happen to us. And a lot of people like to just think about it as apples and oranges, just A and B, heads or tails, negative, positive. You feel me? And people take that with them for the rest of their lives, for the rest of their days, you know? Some people look at their negative experiences and they just look at it as, damn, that was a negative experience, and they only focus on the negatives, and that focus on the negative just creates negative emotions within them, creates a state of turmoil within their spirit, within their very being. You know what I mean? And that carries with them the rest of their life until they release that energy. And that energy carries with them even in situations when that don't even call for it. Because, for example, right, say like it's the morning time, right, and you get in a fight with a loved one or something like that, right, and like that just fucked up your whole day. Getting in that fight with that loved one, that just fucked up your whole day. Now you all angry, you sad, you mad, whatever, and then now you going about your day, and all you keep and you just have these negative ass emotions from that fight that you had in the morning, just carrying with you everywhere you go. You go to the store to buy something, to buy some food or something, and you're gonna give the cash register lady some attitude just because you feel in a certain way because of something that happened to you in the morning. You feel me? But excuse me, but I'm here to tell y'all, man, that when it comes to these situations, you can't just look at it linearly. Look at it from both sides, you know? When you get in that fight with that loved one, you still love them regardless. Because think about it, if you didn't get in that fight with them, then you would have went about your day all happy or whatever, and however you plan to go on about your day. If you didn't get in a fight with that loved one, then you would never even be in this negative ass mind state, you know? So, like, and if this love, and imagine, even if this loved one wasn't here right now, if this loved one passed away, if this loved one wasn't here in your life, that'd be way worse. That situation is way worse than any type of fight that you can get in with them, you know? So, when it comes to these situations, man, like, if you get in a fight with a loved one, look at the positives. Look at it just like, yo, even though I got in a fight with them, hey man, regardless, I still love them regardless. That's just something that's coming from them, or something that's coming from me. Maybe I said something that was wrong. Maybe I did something that was wrong, or maybe I was completely in the right to feel wrong, you know, because of something that they said or did to me. But you know what? That came from them. That's a mistake that they made, that they had to apologize for, or whatever. But there's no point in me being hung up on it because what happened. All you ever have is a current moment. All you ever have is a current moment. All you ever have is this moment that you're in right now. You can't recall a time besides the current moment. It's impossible to recall a time besides this current moment. You never experience the future. You never experience the past. The only time you can experience the future or the past is when you're thinking about it. That's it. You can only recall the past. You can only imagine the future. But you're always in the current moment. You're always experiencing the current moment. Always. You know? So be present. Be present and keep in mind yin and yang, man, in your everyday life. Whenever something negative happens to you, whenever you get into a bad situation, you get in a car crash, anything, you get in a car crash, instead of thinking, damn, my car fucked up, fuck this, fuck that. Instead of just thinking my car's done, think, yo, I'm alive, I'm not hurt. Damn, thank God I'm alive, I'm not hurt. Thank God that the other person that I got in the crash with is not hurt, or they alive, and all that. Or just anything. Yo, next time you get in a fight with that loved one, instead of just thinking, damn, fuck them for what they said or did or whatever. Instead of just thinking like that, thinking just linearly, you could think like, yo, hey man, at least they here right now to fight with me. Because once we make up, it's gonna be all good, and then we go back to loving each other like we did before. Like, come on, man. Like, yo, life is finite. Life is finite. You're here for a certain amount of years, and then you're gone. You're here for a certain amount of years and the body dies. There's no, in the big picture of things, there's no point in getting hung up on all these trivial things. There's no point in getting hung up on all these negatives. It's not bad to feel these emotions. No, I'm not saying I'm not saying ignore your emotions or suppress them. No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is don't just completely focus on the negatives. Don't just completely let the negatives in the situation or the bad things about life completely take over your being. You feel me? You feel me? Like, for real though, because life is finite, man. And we all know, if you lost a loved one, you know that you rather any fight with that loved one is way better, you would take any fight with that loved one over them not being here. You know what I mean? And that's a fact. So be grateful for your lives, man, and think about the positives in every situation. You feel me? When it comes to that cup, think of the cup as half full, not half empty. You know what I mean? And as always, be better than yesterday. Be great. Sean Benzan, J Benz of Light, and I'm out, y'all. Peace.